I was just going to break away from that report to bring you Jeremy Corbyn, who's live in Hucknall in Nottinghamshire, where he's been campaigning today. Let's listen in.
And into the next 5 days, get him elected. We need him to be that majority that will deliver big changes for real justice in this country. Mike. We've got 5 days of campaigning left in this election, and it seems there's some problems in the Conservative Party at the moment. No, we shouldn't make hay from other people's troubles. It's just that they seem to be having problems about taxation. Just let me be very clear. We have a fully costed, prepared programme that will change a lot of things in this country and will help the poorest and most vulnerable the most. And ask those at the other end to pay a bit more so that our kids can go to school, our kids can get school meals, our young people can get to university without going into debt. That's why we're doing it. There seems to be some confusion amongst the Tory party. Some of them are saying that there would be tax cuts for the very rich. Some are saying there'll be no tax rise for the very rich, and some are saying tax would go up for the rest. Well, let's be very, very clear. In this election, next Thursday, there's a choice as clear as there's ever been at any time in British politics. 5 more years of a Tory government. Just how many people would be on hospital waiting lists? Just how many people would be sleeping on the streets and around our railway stations? Just how many having serious mental health crises would not be supported and not be cared for? Just how big would our school classes be? Just how low would our wages be? Just what kind of society would we be in? As they hand billions in tax relief to the biggest corporations and the very wealthiest, and make the rest of us pay for it with cuts in our services. And so, when the Prime Minister decided to surprise everybody by going walking in Wales and have an epiphany moment and decide to call a general election, all the experts said, well, that's it. That's it, you know, strong, stable government, strong, stable leadership, strong, stable manifesto, strong, stable policies, strong, stable everything. Well, you know what? They misunderestimated a lot of things, didn't they? Every rally we do is bigger than the last one. And you know what? A couple of days ago, we raised more money from members and supporters in the Labour Party to our campaign funds than ever before. And do you know what the average size of the donation was? £19. We are supported by people who want to live in a decent, fair society. The billionaires are not funding the Labour campaign. Because our campaign is of people, by people, for people. And I'm very proud of our manifesto. We wrote it very carefully. We thought about it very carefully. We thought very carefully about all the issues that face people in this country. Are we going to go on seeing the redistribution of wealth from the poorest to the richest? Are we going to go on seeing the way in which this country becomes more and more unequal? More and more people living on poverty pay, living insecure lives because there's no efficient, good jobs around for them? Or are we going to do things differently? So I'll just quickly outline the main points we're doing in this manifesto. Before I go through where we're going to spend the money, I just want to make it clear that we are for an economy that grows, an investment economy for areas that have been left behind ever since the end of the coal industry, where they haven't seen the investment they deserve. And the East Midlands has the lowest level of investment of any region across the country, and some of the lowest pay as well. And so John McDonnell has proposed, and it's absolutely clearly there in our manifesto, we will establish a national investment bank. That national investment bank will be based in every region. That national investment bank, over 10 years, will spend £500 billion on better infrastructure investment, railways, broadband, roads, but it will also be investing in clean technology industries for the future, high-tech industries for the future. Why do we have the lowest levels of investment and lower levels of productivity compared to many other countries in the industrial world? Answer: because we spent too much time giving tax relief at the top end and spending not enough on what we all need for the future. Ours is a government will be a government that is serious about our place in the 21st century. And how do you achieve all this? Well, you look around you. You look around you at what our children need, what chances they need in life. And so let's go through it. We are going to provide free places for 2 to 4-year-olds for 30 hours a week in preschool facilities, coming together, growing up together, learning together. And in primary school, we will provide a free school meal for every primary school child every day, which they will eat together. No longer the division between those that get free school meals and those that don't. I believe in universalism. And if the parents are rich and can well afford to pay for it, well, then the taxation system should be the agent for redistribution, not some endless decision in schools who gets a meal and who doesn't. The principle surely should be to bring everyone together. Now, I think our children should learn everything they possibly can in school, and the schools should be properly funded. This government has brought in a school funding formula which underfunds our schools and tells the head teachers, decide how many fewer teachers you need, decide how many fewer teaching assistants you need, and what fewer subjects to teach. And by the way, if you can't afford it, collect the money off the parents. Well, I tell you this, if you're in a rich area, parents may well be able to chip in 50, 100 quid a month to support their school. If you're not, the parents can't afford to do it. What happens down the line? Better schools in the rich areas, worse schools in the poor areas. Sorry, the function of government is to ensure the same quality of education for every child in every school, everywhere. Now, I believe passionately that there is creativity and imagination in all of our children. It's wonderful. But not everybody can afford to send their children to schools to learn acting, to extra lessons in art or music. So, Tom Watson and I have discussed this, and we're going to introduce what we call the Pupil Arts Premium into every primary school so that every child can get to learn a musical instrument whilst they're in school. And that will, of course, help all of our local services and facilities. And then, as you go through the education career, proper funding of secondary schools, but also bringing back the education maintenance allowance to encourage our youngsters to stay on in school and develop their education. Because since it was abolished, the number of youngsters going on to try and get into university and college places has changed, and university applications are tending now to be going down, and the number of working class youngsters applying to go to university is reducing. We have thought very carefully about this and decided the only thing to do is what a number of other countries do, and fully fund students by ending university fees for everybody in college. So the next generation will not leave.
There is the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn campaigning in Nottinghamshire, where he's just said that the Labour manifesto aims to make the country more equal, going on to say that the tax system should be the way to make people pay their fair share. It is, of course, a very busy last weekend of campaigning for all the party leaders, and we will have full coverage right here on Sky News.